There is one more with the stone.
Mm-hmm.
You want to come?
I have here the photographs with the Prime Minister of India, with the Vice President of India, with the governors and all that kind of thing.
See, this is. I can just switch on the light. This is stone, one piece. And this is another deity, our deity. The Ganesh festival is going on these days.
Okay. Yes. Kalpana, but do you remember this team from Soviet Union? Not much.
Maybe you didn't visit because I was also young and working. I'm a doctor. Medical doctor. So maybe I was not there, in Deccan College.
But you was working in Pune. You was working where exactly?
Actually, I worked with NGOs, and the last one was with his projects, as a medical officer.
What was you doing in medical field?
I'm a gynecologist, so I was always with the women's health.
See, I come from Gwalior in Madhya Pradesh. And I had my master's in anthropology at Sagar with a well-known professor, Professor S.C. Dubey, and his wife, Dr. Leela Dubey. Then I came to, I was selected as a lecturer, they used to call now assistant professor, in cultural social anthropology in the university, but our department is located in the Deccan College. And Irawati Karve, a very famous anthropologist, was my boss. She was like our mother, of course.
When you joined this Deccan College?
1960. So that time I was just 23, a very young faculty member.
But your father and mother, they were related to science, art?
They were natives of Gwalior.
What your father did? Who was your father?
No, we were what they call zamindars. I mean, the landlords, and we had some agricultural land which we were not cultivating, but we were supervising it, and we had a huge house in Gwalior. So we came from the feudal family of zamindars. But my father died very young, so we then got educated and all that. And my mother had to work very hard to take care of us, because those days there were no other incomes except the gold reserves in the house. That was the problem. I belong to Brahmin, Karana Brahmin they call it. Among Brahmin there are subcastes and all that.
So traditionally, what kind of job is in this community? People doing what? What kind of job?
No, Karanas are, they are Brahmins. I mean, all the Brahmins traditionally is supposed to be priest and teaching, but Karanas are particularly well known for cooking. They are good cooks. Yeah. So, lot of this marriage pandals or marriage things are owned by the Karanas even in Pune. So that is their traditional thing. But of course nowadays everybody is doing everything else. But not like the coconut size Irawati Karve was. They were intellectual class and they were also rulers here. So I got my master's. I got my master's in anthropology from Sagar University in Madhya Pradesh. It is now called Hari Singh Gaud University. And my teacher, as I said, was Professor S. Dubey. He's a well-known person. His book Indian Village is the first village monograph about India. Then he also wrote India Changing Villages. That is also the first book on community development, the changes in the villages. So I was his student, and then I got selected in Pune University. We have the All India selection committees and All India advertisements, and then I competed in that and I got selected. I was born in 1936, so I just completed 23, 24. I was the youngest faculty member in the university, very young. In those days, there were very few teachers in the university, appointed in the university. Many of them used to be guest faculty from the colleges, from Ferguson College and SP College, all that, and they were all elderly people. So actually, they used to tell me not to wear bush shirt.
Why?
No, because I would look like a student.
Wear a coat over there.
So I should put on jacket, or so I should look a little elderly. That was because the students were also of the same age, and if I went to library, I had to tell the librarian that I am a teacher, so I am not a student, and that is okay. Because I had good, I was good in the studies, so it is okay.
What was your diploma about? What was what subject you selected?
No, it was called Masters in Anthropology, but in anthropology we had to do field work. So I did the field work in a village, in a Gwalior area, about caste dimensions in the village. How does the caste function in a village? What are the inter-caste relationships, and how the castes are changing now? Because my professor had written a book on Indian village, and so I wanted to see. That was in Hyderabad, his book. I was working in Gwalior village. So what kind of a village was it? And what are the inter-caste relationships, and what are the higher caste, lower caste, untouchable, scheduled caste, all that kind of thing. So I stayed in the village with as anthropologists do, with the peasant families. We always live in the families, where we go. And
For how long did you stay in the village?
Continuously I used to stay for 3 months, but all told it was 1 year. During vacations I would go summer vacation and winter vacation. And then the book is published also. My MA dissertation, as they call it, MA thesis, is published. So, and then when I came here, I was somehow introduced to Armed Forces Medical College by Irawati Karve only. She was called at Armed Forces Medical College. It was a postgraduate college, not undergraduate college, for the army people to talk about social aspects of health. 1963. So she went for a day and then she said, "Oh, I'm not interested in these things. I'm interested in caste and all that kind of. You start going." So I started going because we had applied anthropology and with Dr. Dubey. So application of anthropology, because when the British were ruling, we were not talking about anthropology application. But now when India becomes independent, how can our subject be applied to any subject to be applied for the welfare of the country, welfare of the people? That was the idea. So under applied anthropology, they asked me to talk about social aspects of health.
That was a faculty, or that was department, some department?
Department of Preventive Social Medicine in Armed Forces Medical College. In every medical college, there is a department of Preventive Social Medicine, even now. And in the Armed Forces Medical College, it was meant only for the army officers. Those who were already majors and lieutenant colonels and all that, a kind of a orientation for them. And I asked them on the very first day, why are you asking me to talk to you on social aspects? Because you all are in uniform and you tell your soldiers, you order the soldiers to function in a particular way and they do it. They don't question you. So why social aspects? So they said, no, it is not like that. The one thing is that soldiers or all these people, they are under our, under our command when they are in uniform. But they are also living in the families. They are also living with their mothers and mothers-in-law and all that. And they come from Bihar and Punjab and all that. So they follow their customs. They don't expect what we tell them. Secondly, the cantonments are under the army health system. And then in cantonment there are also civilian population. So we have to understand as to why do the people behave the way they do. That is the main thing now. Why do the people behave the way they do? So we must understand these social aspects, and that is why we want you. So I kept on going for the next 35 years. There was a Government of India order in my favor that we are appointing you as honorary professor and you tell us about social aspects of health. And all the Armed Forces Medical was under Pune University. It was affiliated to Pune University. So if they requested the university, it was our duty to help them. That is what Irawati Karve also said. Then that brought me in contact with leprosy, because leprosy has a lot of social aspects. Leprosy is a dreaded disease, as we know, right from Jesus and all that kind of thing. And there was no cure, there was no treatment, there was no medicine. And because of deformity, people were thrown out of their houses and they used to go in colonies. And even the medical side was not known. So the medical people used to say that, oh, it's a social problem. And social people would say, no, it's a medical problem. So nobody would try to own it from the research and from the academic point of view. So I was the first in the world who talked about social aspects of leprosy, and I was invited way back in 1981 in WHO Geneva to write a working paper on the basis of which there was an international conference on social aspects of leprosy. That is how I got an international award also, international award, Gandhi Award for leprosy. I mean, it all went like that.
How you did the field work? What was your method to study the field work about leprosy?
See, I was interacting with all these leprosy organizations, Indian and foreign. But there are more Christian organizations in leprosy than Hindu organizations. Because in the Bible it is written Jesus healed the leper. So naturally the people, the missionaries, etc., they used to look after them. And so they had International Leprosy Organization for that matter, German Leprosy Relief Foundation, Netherlands Relief Leprosy Foundation. So they would all invite me to discuss with me the social aspects. So how to tell the patients, how to tell the patients' families, and how to look after them. I mean, how to tell them that this is a problem which is solvable, which is treatable, that kind of thing. Because they always used to talk in terms of bacilli. They were not talking anything in terms of their social issues, that they should not be thrown out, that it is curable, and things like that. So that is how even now I am on the governing boards or research bodies of these international organizations. International Leprosy Organization, which is headquartered in London or in America and all that. Even now I am connected with them. Because,
In Pune, there are some colonies of
in Pune,
lepers.
there used to be a colony. Of course, now the colonies are not there because the treatment is there, multi-drug therapy is there. So nowadays people are not throwing people out of the house. They are being treated and they are getting cured also. But there was a colony in Pune, Bandorwala Leprosy Hospital, in Kondwa, what they call it, in one corner of the town. Kondwa, Kondha, and she was connected with that afterwards as a doctor. She also got training in leprosy in Christian Medical College, Vellore, and their organization, Karigiri, which is one of the best hospitals even now in the world on leprosy treatment. So,
Do you remember some case which is still in your memory when you faced the lepers? So what struck you, or what maybe some kind of communication with them? What do you remember? How do you remember them?
yeah, actually,
when you
there is my photograph with the leprosy patients here. Like it came in the newspapers here. No, I was of course called. I was not because I am not a doctor, so I was not giving any treatment to them. But I had to talk to the patients, and I was in Geneva when they were discussing the multi-drug therapy, whether it should be introduced all over the world. That thing. Well, I was in Geneva. I was called for this writing the paper, and every day they used to tell me as to what is going on, and then they first tried to experiment in some places. So one of the places in India was Wardha, because Wardha is a place of Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi was interested in leprosy. He treated leprosy patients. He in South Africa also he got a patient in his house, and in Wardha also he got a scholar who was suffering from leprosy in his ashram, and he used to massage his legs personally. So Gandhi was very much in leprosy, and that is why after Gandhi's death, Gandhi Memorial Leprosy Foundation was formed to memorize in his memory, and somehow I was a member secretary of Gandhi Memorial Leprosy Foundation. I mean, looking after the other things. So these experiments are going on. So I used to go to the villages and talk to the patients, because the patients would say, "Is this medicine effective? Shall we be thrown out?" and all that. So I had to discuss with them all these things. Later on, they also had a leprosy vaccine trials in South Indian Tamil Nadu, and I was a member of the committee. So there were 4 or 5 vaccines in the world they were trying, leprosy vaccines. So they were all being tried there, and there were issues with the community whether why is he getting this vaccine, am I getting this vaccine, is it not? So I had to convince the people that look, these are all experiments and they are being done, and you should cooperate, because ultimately it will help the humanity. But unfortunately, as you know, the vaccine has not come and not likely to come. I mean, there are scientific problems in leprosy also. So, but the disease has gone down. So I used to talk to the leprosy patients and their family. In anthropology we talk more to the entire family, not to the person. The doctors talk to the patient. We talk to the entire family. So that is why we never talk to a person. We go to the house and sit with the people and then they tell us as to what problems we have. People don't invite us, or we are not invited for marriage, or we are not allowed to take water, and these kinds of things they discuss. So that is the main thing, and that is what I keep on telling, and that is where the leprosy organization they change their vision and mission and motto, that don't talk about patient, talk about the person. Talk about the person and his family. The International Leprosy Organization changed their motto and their vision. Don't talk about patient. Patient is a member of a family. And when there is a patient in the house, the whole family becomes a patient. The whole family gets affected. So target the whole family, not the patient. Patient you are targeting only is medicine, but medicine is not the only thing. There are so many other issues. That is the main thing. I mean, that is of course with all health. If there is any disability in the house, the whole family gets affected, isn't it? But the medical people only targets the person, the patient. I mean, as we criticize, the allopathic system, there is a doctor, drug, and patient. And then, when does the patient become a person? One of the most important things is, even in these leprosy organizations, they used to, in their record, they used to write RFT, that means release from treatment. I said, why don't you use the word cure? If you yourself don't use the word cure, how can you tell people leprosy is curable? That is still going on. Because they say, no, sometimes there is reinfection, there is relapse, there is resistance. I say that can happen with any disease. You can, suppose you are having typhoid, maybe after some years you will again have typhoid. So it is a scientific matter, but to the people, why do talk like this? And even they would say ex-leprosy patient. I said, what do you mean by ex-leprosy patient? A patient will never become a person. we have to revert him to the person, isn't it? So that he will use his. So the WHO changed its definition of the case of leprosy because of my influence. They said the case of leprosy is one till a person gets socially rehabilitated, not till the bacillus is dead. It is not that. According to medical science, if the bacillus is dead, he is cured. But unless he is socially rehabilitated, he continues to be a patient, or you call me ex-patient. So these are all the minor issues. But of course, my interaction, it helps at the policy planning level.
But suppose in your case, in your vision, have you witnessed a successful social rehabilitation of the person who had the leprosy?
Yes.
Or normally they just thrown away out of families and...
It has now. We have actually made a film also on that, looking beyond the bacillus and all that, or in search of human dignity, where now the people accept that maybe your finger is a little deformed, but you can do your work and all that. That is there. The problem is continuously between medical and social. To such an extent that because of my continuous, and I started medical anthropology in Pune University. I was the first to start medical anthropology in Pune University.
In which year?
Medical anthropology in the year 1974. We introduced a course in medical anthropology in our anthropology curriculum.
Oh, and who was the teachers? You was the teacher?
No, I started teaching, and now of course it is in several universities, medical anthropology. And because of that, the Indian Council of Medical Research, which is the topmost research body in India, they started a social behavioral research division. They used to have a division for molecular biology, or they used to have a division for immunology, but they started a social behavioral research division, and I was made the chairman of the research group, a non-medical person. So it has taken so much, so it spread from leprosy to other organizations also. Say maybe family planning or tuberculosis. These are also the problems, Tuberculosis is a big problem. So, but the problems are same, because the medical education is limited only to the cause of the disease and the treatment. But that is not the life of the person. The life of the person is a holistic life, as a member of the family, as a member of the community, he has to do some occupation, he has to do some. So we have to look, and anthropology is a science of man in totality. So we look at a person totally. I mean, that is our strength, our subject. And other strength is that we listen to the people. Medical people don't listen to the people. They listen only what are your symptoms. Symptom, this is the medicine. That's it. So that is not the correct approach to deal with. I mean, there is no human compassion and all that kind of thing in that. Anyway, so that is my contribution. I am known for that, and that is how I got several awards and things like that. But I mean, we may take anything. Say agriculture also, if we take, there also we have to deal with the farmers and their problems. And now the technology is there, the fertilizers are there, chemical fertilizers are there, chemical other kind of seeds are there. They create all kinds of problems. So we have to look at the holistic thing. The main thing is the holistic thing, which is the strength of anthropology, and that is where we are dealing with it. Even in biological anthropology, they were earlier talking about only the origin of man and how the man evolved and all that kind of thing. But now all these medical and health issues, they are partly biological, partly social. So we have to look at both the things together. So actually, specialization is not good. And nowadays they talk of super specialization and all that kind of. It's very bad. So the human being is lost in that.
Would you remember the rural India of 60s when you did your field work? So in that time, what kind of problem you faced with when you did your field work study in that village in Madhya Pradesh? So what?
Both rural and tribal. I mean, tribal was because the tribals, for historical reasons, they have been living in isolation in the forest or in the valleys and all that, and without any roads and all that. But they suffered greatly when the British started ruling India, and they started a forest policy because they started looking at forest as wealth, and because they were wanting wood and all that, furniture and all that kind of thing. So they were trying to say that tribals are encroachers and we are the owners of the forest. Earlier the forests were being looked after by the tribal people, and the tribal people, as we say, they take from the forest or from the nature only what they need for the day, not for the greed. There is nothing like that they store anything. If their house, they make from some wood from the nearby, but only for the house. They will not make 10 houses, or they will not store any food in that. They will take food for today, and that's it. So, food, everything for need, not for greed. That is their philosophy. But because of this forest policy of the government, they suffered a great deal. So they were. That is why the problems of malnutrition and all that have come up, because they are not allowed to use the natural resources around them. Anyway, these are all problems of tribal development. I had a big project from the government of Maharashtra, how to deal with tribal malnutrition. And then we formed the village committees, and we told them what kind of food they can make at home, and what kind of food they should give to a pregnant woman, what kind of food they should give to a baby from 6 months to 3 months, like that. So we did a lot of it. There is also, my book also is there on that. And now I am talking about anthropology for policy planning, not just anthropologists of the old time. When you go to the village, stay with people, and just write down their customs. How do they marry? and what are their festivals and all that kind of, that is okay. But now they are a part of the nation. They are the citizens of the nation, equal citizens. They are what to say, everybody is a single vote in India. They should also be a part of the governance, So how will they come up? How will they become independent? So we have to influence the policy planning. So we also have to talk to the politicians. We also talk to of course there are no politicians among them also. We have to talk to them. So I am on several government committees to deal with these things. I am also the governor of state. They nominate me as an expert to help the government in dealing with these issues.
But according to you, this caste division, the hierarchy, social hierarchy, could you compare that time in 60s and 70s and today? What kind of difference is there?
Hierarchy is traditional, no doubt. In the urban areas, the caste hierarchy seems to be going down. But on the other hand, unfortunately, because of democracy, the politicians are using caste, because votes means numbers. Who gets how many numbers, You come to power if your party gets more votes. Now, from where you get more votes? If this caste has got more numbers, so I should do something for them. If they get something, so I should do something for that. And so this caste politics has become very vicious as far as the democratic elections are concerned.
But in society itself, is it still strong, this caste mind?
It is weakening. It is weakening. But it is not yet completely gone. It is not yet completely gone. Nowadays, they are saying that now the census is starting. They say that caste census should be taken. But according to Indian Constitution, they have abolished the caste. So actually, caste census should not be taken. It should not be taken. Because when caste census is taken, people also tell their caste, wrongly. They give the names of the caste which have got some privileges, like that. So caste census is not a good thing. But now with education, and particularly education of women, so because of education of women and because of employment of women, there are intercaste marriages also taking place. A vegetable seller, and because of reservation policy, his daughter becomes a computer engineer. And she might meet some computer engineer from some high caste or something. They may fall in love and they would marry. Of course, there will be some opposition. But then these cases are growing. Because the lifestyle also changes. Particularly in urban areas, it changes. And now the urban population is growing. The rural population is receding. So that is there. Although even now India is an agricultural country, no doubt. So the politicians are also coming more from agricultural communities, and they have that kind of politics, that kind of property is there. But it is growing. It of course depends upon the leadership, strong leadership. Now Mahatma Gandhi was there for everything, But of course Mahatma Gandhi is ideal, but not that everybody follows that. Of course, it's a slow process, but still there is no doubt that India has made a lot of progress. There are of course disparities are there. There are too much disparity between rich and poor also. But as we say a maid servant coming to my house, she might come on a scooter now. So she has gone to that level. She is also educated. She will say, I will work only for 1 hour and go to another house, third house, fourth house. So that kind of progress is there. Her children are in good schools. So naturally, they have a bright future. So these changes are definitely there, no doubt about it. So we should appreciate that. It's a slow process now that. But the only thing in democracy, it stabilizes. It doesn't change. Once the change comes in, it stays there. When we compare ourselves with other countries, in the last 75 years, we have made a lot of changes. Now, when I was a child, I was born in a British education. My college principal used to be British fellow. And now things have changed.
Ghee, just
Acha, ghee, adding on the ghee. Tula.
So what is the name of this chapati?
Puran poli. Puran Poli. Puran poli. It's made from the chana dal. You know chana la काय म्हणतात त्याच्यात? नाही.
Bengal gram.
Bengal gram. And
Mixed with jaggery and cooked in
the roti, the wheat flour.
So Ramayana matters is.
Yeah.
How did you start thinking about Ramayana?
Yeah, I started thinking about Ramayana. For one thing, there was a serial, film serial brought out by Raman and Sagar in 1987 or so. And when the serial was being projected, there was more in the Lok Sabha, Parliament, that please change the timing of Lok Sabha so that we can see Ramayana serial in the house. So that much. At that time, about 4 crore people, 4 means 400 million people, were seeing Ramayana every day on the TV. Of course, those days TV was not so popular. Now, during the COVID days, when people were all inside, and the TV also, as we are all, even in poor families, they have TV. 7 crore 70 lakh people were seeing Ramayana every day. Now, as an anthropologist, my question is, why? Why so many people they know the story, there is nothing new about it, but then why so much about it? Then lakhs of people have got my personal name is Ramchandra. Now there is Ramaswamy, M.G. Ramchandran, anybody in all areas of Sitaram and things like that. There are names after Ram Tekri, Ram Hill, Ram Nadi, Ram River. Why? Why it is so? What is so great about Ram? So that is what I wanted to explore as an anthropologist. And why it is about 5,000 years ago. Why it is so much alive even today. So I tried to explore that. And in India, we have got the concept of soul is everywhere, but we have the concept of rebirth. Soul takes rebirth. So I would say that Ramayana has taken so many rebirths. Now what is it that? So what is the concept of soul? What is the concept of dharma? Doesn't mean religion. Dharma means good behavior. Ethical behavior, moral behavior, like that. So from that point of view, I have written that book, and it has become very popular.
Thank you.
There are certain other things even in the story. Even the story, say the Sita, she was in prison of Ravan for about an year, and so people from Ayodhya, from where she came, they would not believe that she has not been defiled, because if a woman, a young woman, is in the custody of a enemy, he is bound to defile her, and that is normal kind of thing. So why she was not defiled? So I would say that she was very powerful. And what I have said, which nobody else has said, that although Ravan was killed by Ram, Sita defeated him. Sita defeated him. So they have not talked about her power as a woman, which I have brought it out more finally. That because it's a patriarchal society, and coming from UP Hindi provinces, which is more patriarchal than South as far as. So they are not talking more about Sita. But from my point of view, Sita is more powerful. And Gandhi has also said that Sita is very powerful. And Gandhi has advised the women that be like Sita. Be as powerful as Sita. Be as empowered as Sita. Like that.
So what kind of sources did you use for this book? Valmiki Ramayana, classical? Valmiki Ramayana.
Valmiki Ramayana is the good source. Of course, there are 300 varieties of it, no doubt. But Valmiki Ramayana main, original, I have used it. And because in different regions there are some small stories here and there, and that is okay. Because we have said Ravan in Indonesia also, Bali Islands also there, in Thailand, in Cambodia, everywhere, in Southeast Asia also there. So I call it, in India, in anthropology we use the concept of culture. But I said we should use the concept of civilization, not culture. Culture they have talked only in terms of tribal. And Irawati Karve's contribution is also that she has not done any tribal monograph. She has written on kinship of the whole area. So she has talked more about civilization. And so theoretically, she will show you.
This is the book.
Yeah,
Theoretically,
once you have
theoretically, concept of civilization should be more popular in anthropology.
How you put it? What is the concept of civilization? How you
Concept
can
of,
put
yeah,
it?
concept of civilization is, that we find, say for that matter, we find the South Indian temples. Such magnificent, temples are there for hundreds of years. There are so many monuments. There are so many there are so many forts. There have been kings, like Shivaji or Krishnadeva Rai or Chola or Rana Pratap, and they all went by truth, by principles, by ethical principles. Now the same ethical principles which Ram went by, they have followed that. Or even in Mahabharata, they have talked about, see Mahabharata story, that Arjun was not willing to fight. Because he said, my grandfather is there, my teacher is there, how can I kill them? So he is told by Krishna, that is not the issue. The issue is, you are on the side of dharma and they are on the side of adharma. It is your duty to fight against adharma. It is your duty because you are born a Kshatriya. So follow your duty. It is nothing to do why they may be your grandfather, but why they are on the follow. See why they allowed Draupadi to be disrobed in front of everybody like that. So it is a question of dharma and adharma. Now that is why in my speech last week I said this in Pahalgam, in recently in Kashmir, the families had gone for tourism, wives, children, and they were enjoying life. And suddenly somebody comes and shoot. Now a man being shot in front of his wife, man being shot in front of his son, for what? It has never happened. War is okay. War means there is some principle you are against this. But what is this? They were just enjoying. They were just innocent people. And so they must be punished. It is a duty of the nation to punish. And if they are from Pakistan, Pakistan should be punished. I mean, that is what, the whole thing happened. No? So, means you should always be on fight against injustice. That is the principle. Then in tribals, Ram lived in tribal area for 14 years. Now, as an anthropologist, my primary study is tribal study. So, what is it that? So, how was Ram living? What was he doing? What was he cooking? What food they were eating? How they were interacting with them? This is all in Ramayana. And so, as an anthropologist also, I was also interested in this. And then Ram's army, which fought Ramayana, it was the army of tribals. I mean, they are not monkeys and all that, These are their totems and clan names. Or Jatayu is a bird. Bird is not it is a totem. Even now, the tribals have their clan names and totems like that. So, the Ram's army was a tribal army. Now, why? Even today, in the tribal community, a woman is never molested, a woman is never raped, a woman is never touched, a tribal woman is never touched by a tribal man against her wishes, even today. And if a tribal woman or a tribal man is attracted to married, is attracted to some other person, he divorces and then marries again. But there is no adultery is punishable with death even today in tribal area. So Ravan was like that. He was trying to have somebody's wife, against her will, his will, in his custody and all that. So these are all the principles, some tribal principles. And so he had to be punished. Mm-hmm. And then he had to be punished also because Ram was a king of Ayodhya. From his own house, if the queen is abducted and if he doesn't punish, then how can he protect his people, his women, which is his duty? It is the duty of the king or it is the duty of the government now to protect the people, to protect the women, to protect the children. If they can't do it, they have no business to be in power, isn't it? These are the principles. So from that point of view, I have written that book.
How do you remember her?
Well, as far as personal relationships are concerned, she was like our mother. Because I was so young and she was elderly people. But she was of course a scholar in Deccan College, a classical scholar. And we were employees of the university. So in the university we were appointed basically for teaching. Teaching, research and extension work. That is the duty of a university teacher. And Deccan College is only research. No teaching there. Although we were asked to sit there, but Deccan College was made for research. Deccan College Postgraduate Research Institute, that is the name. And so she said, you have to do teaching is your first area. And then we had earlier master's program in sociology and anthropology combined. But after some time, anthropology was separated, master's in anthropology. Then I was a lecturer in cultural anthropology. There was one lecturer in physical anthropology, Dr. Gulati. Malhotra came much later. So we two were there. And so we two had to organize all teaching programs. So she wrote to the administration officer, registrar of university, that as far as teaching is concerned, if these two people, if they write something, take it that my signature is there. They got full authority and full freedom to manage everything about teaching. So much faith, so much confidence in the young colleagues is something which is remarkable, which nobody does. Normally, they are head of the department always try to impose. But as far as our teaching program is concerned, she said, no, you got all the freedom. Now, we would consult her, that is different. But she would never impose herself on us. That is one great, that is how we learned. Because we had responsibility, so we had to, share in the responsibility. So it was a learning process for us. Otherwise, if you say and we'll do, that's not that kind of relationship. This is what we think, now this is what and she would say, okay, go ahead. So that kind of a relationship was very, very good. And as I said, in Armed Forces Medical College, she said, go, you go. Now I was say recruited in 1960, and in 1963, that means I was still very young. And to go and teach at the postgraduate in the Armed Forces Medical College to the majors and lieutenant colonels. They were all elder to me and in high positions.
But you was employee of Deccan College that time. He was employee.
We were located in Deccan College, but we were not employees of Deccan College legally. Legally, we were employees of Pune University. But our department was located in Deccan College. It was not in the university. So because Deccan College was also part of the university, like that.
So how can you describe her personality?
Oh,
Irawati.
She was very outspoken, and she would never, not say feeling something and saying something else. Whatever she would feel, she would openly say to anybody. Yeah, whether he is vice chancellor or a chief minister or anybody like that. So a perfect classical scholar. I mean, always speaking bluntly, whatever she felt like, whether you like it or you don't like it. But that is what is also expected of an academician, because you should be real to your research and your what you call truth. I mean, after research means what? Finding out the truth, isn't it? So truth is something which is important. So she would always do that. And of course, during those times, the kind of research topics used to be in colonial times. What was the origin of Kokonastar, what is the caste system and things like that. Not about change. But the change came only after India became independent. During British time, they were talking about change, but who was talking about change? The Congress party was talking about change, the Mahatma Gandhi was talking about change, Nehru used to talk about change, but it was not the government who was talking about change. So when they became power, when the freedom came, then they had to implement their ideas, which they were talking about it. So when Irawati Karve was in 1939, when she joined Deccan College, when Deccan College was revived as a research institute, those research topics were different. And the research topics after India became independent, they become different. Because now we owe our responsibility. Supposing the government asks me what should be done about tribal development, what should be rural development, it is my duty to tell them as to my ideas, whether they follow it or not. But it is my duty, because I am also paid salary from the public taxes, isn't it? So that relationship is all changed. So Irawati Karve was a great scholar, of course, no doubt about it. She would constantly think about this kinship, she would constantly think about Mahabharata, she would constantly think about the values, and she would constantly interact with Professor Sankalia of archaeology and Dr. Katre of linguistics, because you have to understand the holistic thing. So naturally, when you are talking about origin, when you are talking about monuments, you have to go to Sankalia. Now say even in Ramayana, the stone tools they were using against Ravan, they are mentioned in paleoanthropology or paleoarchaeology. So naturally, you have to, for authentication, you have to go to them. Or some words are there, so you have to go to linguistics. So the holistic thing was anthropology, physical, social, cultural, linguistics, archaeology. So that was Deccan College itself was a great institution from that point of view. That holistic scholarship was there, and these were great scholars, all the three of them, and so that made Deccan College great, So we had great respect for her, no doubt about it. But we also knew that we cannot follow that kind of scholarship. Because now our challenges are different. Now we are being called, by social welfare department or tribal welfare department. You are an anthropologist. Tell us how to go about tribal development. What kind of policy we should follow. Those questions were not asked to Irawati Karve. Those questions are asked to us. And so it is our duty to deal with that. And even now I keep on dealing with that. Because that is my duty as a teacher. A teacher is a teacher lifelong, A teacher, I may retire because I don't get salary, but as a teacher, I am teacher. So naturally that keeps on going. And those values, they were all imbibed in Deccan College. What is a good teacher, what is good research, and how you should be faithful to it. Now as a teacher, I can tell the Chief Minister on his face that, sorry, you are wrong, I don't accept you. I do tell, even now. And they can do nothing about it. Because I don't want anything from them, I say, as a teacher, as an expert, this is my opinion. You may not take it, but I won't change my opinion. You can't purchase me. You can't say, have this bribe. No, you can't do that. So those values we got from Deccan College in general and from Irawati Karve. Yeah. So she would tell on face, She, whether he is the President of India, she would tell openly that this is what is. You are wrong. This is what I feel. I have to tell the ministers many times that, sorry, I don't go with you. But fortunately, our one thing in education is there. Our universities, public universities, not private universities, public universities, government universities, our boss is the governor of state, who is called Chancellor. So he is the Vice Chancellor's boss. So Chancellor is also the boss of the university. Chancellor as governor, he is also the boss of the government. He appoints the Chief Minister. He appoints the ministers. He can dismiss them. So we say our boss is the Chancellor. We will go by him, not by what you say. So that system which Nehru made, that governor becoming a Chancellor and supreme authority as far as university is concerned, that is very good. Because then we in the universities are not afraid of government. Although we may get our salary from the government, but we can tell the government, and we should tell the government that, sorry, we don't agree with you. What will you do? You will complain against us to governor, who is the chancellor, who is our boss also. Like that system is there. That's a very good system.
That was invented in the time of Jawaharlal Nehru sometimes, that after the independence, just after the independence.
No, Nehru was a great man. I have heard, they might talk in politics, they might never say anything. I have heard Nehru several times, his speeches and all that. Because Nehru made all the modern India, all science and all that. He made dams and steel factories and all that. He personally used to take interest. Although he was educated in Britain, but under Gandhi's, as a Gandhi's disciple. The name of the village was Jamana, where one of the Dr. Nair, now he was a student. Their Diwali, Diwali is of course already a festival, but it spreads for about 2 weeks in the tribal area. So during their Diwali of that village, particular village, they sacrifice 3 goats to their deities. And they say the goat must be killed in one stroke with a sword. So the fellow with a sword, he would keep the goat there, and in one stroke, the head must sever. Otherwise, it would be a bad omen. And because we were there, they would say that it is because of you, the bad omen. So we were also a little worried. But the fellow, he was very smart. In one stroke each, he beheaded the goats. And then they skinned in front of us, and they cooked by the side of the river in earthen pitchers on slow fire. The only spices they had was turmeric and salt. It went on for about 3 hours, and then they of course gave it to all the villages. We were also there. It was very tasty. So then they were very happy. And as from each hamlet, one person was there to worship the deities. So we were also treated as one hamlet, the students, and I was the leader. So they asked me also to sit and offer the worship to the deities, to their local deities, and we were given that thing. So that was it. They were not allowing ladies to come there, but we had two girl students there. So they said, okay, they can sit at a distance and they can watch from there, but they will not come near us. Elopements take place. The girls and the boys elope. You know, those who want to save from bride price, they elope first, and then they reappear after some days. Then there are negotiations and all that.
Is it the same time as Diwali festival?
Diwali, their Diwali, what they call Diwali.
Their Diwali is different.
What they call Diwali.
They call it differently.
Yeah, it goes on for 15 days in one village. In every village there is another Diwali day. But it is around the same, around Hindu Diwali, but not exactly the same day.
It may not coincide.
So there are festivities, there are dances and there are music and all that thing.
I was interested in studying this Nandivalas. She told Dr. Malhotra to go over there and inquire. So we had a jeep, that old jeep. Francis was there. So he told us, and then we took the jeep and went there. Dr. Malhotra, my child, also accompanied. Another 1 or 2 more students were also there. We went there on the side of the road, a lot of tents were there. And then we met the main person, the Patil. They call him Patil. So we went, and very tall fellow, around 6 feet, and with the red turban and everything. He came and inquired, what do you want? Then Marathis, wonderful Marathi, they speak. And they are here for the last 600 years in Maharashtra.
Before that?
Andhra. Tirumalai area.
Tirumalai.
So then he inquired, and Dr. Malhotra in Marathi talked to him that this is what we want to have, some survey, and nothing is written about your group, and this one. Then he asked so many questions, and everything he answered. And finally he told, who is your Mukhya? Who is the main person?
Chief.
Then he told one Mrs. Irawati Karve is there. Ask her to come and meet me. He could not budge. He told, no, she only sent us, no, I want to talk to her. Then he told, this is 67 period around that. And then he told, okay, next week we will come. We came back and explained to her. He told, okay, we will go, I will also come. And that was September time, around that, because around September, October they move to Konkan area. When we reached the road only, we could see lot of smoke on both the sides of the road. Every tent, they live in tent, The tented area, a lot of smoke. Then immediately I took the camera and went down. I saw that lot of pigs, being killed there. And killing pigs is not that easy. They bury the head, into the ground with digging something and making it suffocate and then kill it. And the process is going on in various houses. Every house has to sacrifice at least to one pig minimum. That is the day. And in truckloads of pigs people are bringing in, giving to them, selling them. And they have a lot of money, They are all, there is a Ram Mama is there, supposed to be the leader, God or something. So there they had to offer prasada, everything. So we reached there and Mrs. Karve got down from the jeep went towards that. By the time they sent the message to that party to come, he also walked and came up to the roadside. Then there was a small crowd around. Then he started asking her a lot of questions. She answered everything very nicely, very politely. And she told, this is academic work, nothing is known about it. If somebody asks me who is Nandiwala, I cannot tell. Unless we write down, take your photograph and publish a book. Then he told, okay, finally he was convinced. He was very happy. Then he told his own fellow, Prasad Andre. Prasad Andre means that pork, meat. And that fellow in one plate, actually it was boiling and the pieces were there, so many pieces. And he brought us prasad offering. And she understood the implications. She turned to us and told in English, whatever I do, you also follow. You have to do that. You have to take it and eat it. She told these words.
It was wrong.
Raw, almost raw. And in water with a little salt and haldi powder, and it was very hot out. That
Boiling, yeah.
she also.
It's just spicy.
He immediately took the plate and offered to her. She immediately took one namaskar and everything she told and ate also. Started eating.
She ate.
And she had eaten it abroad in Germany, etc. She was in Germany for a long time. So then that he offered to us, immediately I went into Malhotra also, everybody. But those 2-3 ladies in Kirtane, Mrs. Kirtane and Patkar, Mrs. Patkar, they were baffled, you know. Mrs. Karve looked at them and immediately they took him. And then I turned opposite side and walked a little bit. And it was kacha. It was not even boiled properly. So I threw it. That fellow was so happy. He immediately announced that now our people have come. Tomorrow onwards, they are our people. You will put another 2 more tents here, and they will come and sit there. They will visit you also. Whatever they ask, you should give information. Don't conceal anything. Tell openly whatever we are doing. Then we were all very happy. Next day onwards, when we came, the tent was ready. There, that 3 years, only after 3 years they would come again. So like that, 2 terms we went and collected a lot of data. Even biological, Dr. Kate, you must
Mr. Kate,
Dr.
Vijay.
Padmasri Kate. He was given Padmasri award also. So he had done the blood sample checking also, and for sickle cell trait. And measurements, I used to take a lot of measurements. So like that, a good survey we had conducted. A lot of papers also come out.
That was in 60s.
67, 66, 67, around that. 66.
Nandiwala, interesting.
Yes.
Which language they speak?
They originally speak Telugu.
But nowadays they also can speak Marathi.
And they still have not settled. I think about 10 years back, I heard that 2 families, they settled in that same place where they used to camp, you know.
Oh, where it was?
That is Nandgaon, it is called that.
Near to Pune?
Baramati Road.
Baramati Road.
Road, Sholapur. Sholapur. So it is about 30 kilometers from here. And very good, interesting group. But now, generally after rain, they move. This meat, they cut and boil it, then they dry it. And when they travel, they take it along. Dried meat. Wherever they camp, there they prepare again.
Did you say they also money lender? Money lender.
Basically money lenders. Although here they act we will feel that they are beggars and they will. Everybody is very rich.
But how they earn the money? From where they get the money?
See, in city, etc., earlier, etc., they used to beg, like this. Some show they have bulls.
अच्छा नंदी वाला म्हणजे ते बुल्स वाले
Correct, bull.
Bulls, they train them.
They ask question and then he
Yeah,
says,
he says no, no.
Only two signs the bulls is taught. Very simple things. One is to say yes.
He only knows no and
Otherwise,
yes.
no. So then one will come, and this lady is pregnant. What will be her child? Boy or girl? Boy. Then the lady is also happy. Everybody is happy. Then only after 3 years they will come and meet. By the time they will forget whether it is girl or boy. So like that,
They earn money.
Yeah.
Here also they come.
Yeah.
Few days back they had come here.
They come. This is their return.
Because Mrs. Paranspe, she sometimes gives.
Yeah.
And there was a big bull, he was also
When I
saying
was
like
in
this.
Deccan staying, they used to come to my home. 3-4 fellows will come and stay and give tea and everything. And they are very happy. Very nice people,
And they are very healthy, big built and all that.
Walking, so
they
much
have
distance they walk.
The persons who were there with the bull means we can imagine how healthy they should
and
be
bull is so
to
healthy.
manage the bull.
Bull also is very healthy.
Correct.
Huh?
Because
Bull
they
is also very
transport
healthy.
all
The
the
bull
things.
is very big, stout
Yeah.
bull,
And right from small bulls, we have seen the training also, how they give the training. The small bulls, calf. And there onwards they.
It's almost like a horse size, big size.
Some of them are a little smaller and decorate.
They
They decorate.
They decorate them.
the horns and all that, they
Yeah,
make it
yeah.
colored and
Drops on his head also. Like that, that.
But how they call this liquor? Do you know the name? What?
That liquor they get from the local. The moment the Diwalas
They don't brew themselves. No, they don't make.
they don't.
They don't do. They buy from the shop.
In the shop or nearby fellows are there now. There is a river, small river. So there itself people, the local villagers, they prepare it.